How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. Today I'm here with Sam, who has recently hit an awesome milestone super early into her Amazon journey. She's going to be breaking down how she's been able to grow quickly and what her plans are looking like for the future. But if you just want to briefly introduce yourself, Sam, maybe let them know how you got into Amazon and what your sales are looking like right now. We can kind of go from there.
Hi guys, I'm Sam. I just started Amazon basically on a whim about 3 months ago. This was my third month today and I just hit 50K in sales and I actually hit 75 in total revenue since I started. So it's just been a whirlwind of a journey.
That's awesome. Yeah. Not a lot of people are able to grow that quickly. So I'm super excited to kind of get into what you've been working on there. So you said you started a few months ago, and with as many different opportunities as there are out there, like what drew you to Amazon versus some other business opportunities out there?
Well, actually in my first month, I started with Amazon, Walmart, and eBay, which was like a huge mistake. I way overcommitted, but Amazon, there's just so much opportunity there. Like it's insane. Like when you find one item, you can find 50 items essentially. So it's just such a big market you can use.
For sure. Yeah. Can you maybe break down a little bit of what your business model looks like? Are you doing all online arbitrage right now?
Yeah, I would say like 98% online arbitrage. Every now and then, I'll pick up something when I go to the grocery store or something like that.
Cool. Yeah. So for the uninitiated, that's basically just, going to walmart.com, Kohl's.com, buying name brand products and selling it right on Amazon. It's a really good way to get your feet wet in e-com because like we clearly here, we can able to kind of take off quickly. You don't have to create your own products and all that kind of stuff. So do you remember how you maybe found one of those first profitable products? Most people watching this video probably just trying to get the ball rolling and would love to see the growth that you did.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, literally my first day, I took $300 and went to Walmart clearance shelf and bought some items. And my first item I ever sold, I actually lost. I bought a dollar cereal, sold it for $7, had no idea about shipping, had no idea about fees, and like lost money. And then, some of the other items were profitable. And I just figured OA was a bit more to my schedule and you can just order higher quantities, at least for me with my time.
For sure. Yeah. So go in and find that first item at Walmart. That's an awesome way to do it. If you guys don't have a ton of money, just go to the clearance aisle, fire up SellerAmp, Amazon Seller App, one of those, and just get that first sale FBM right away. Ship it straight to the customer. That's awesome. You're able to get kind of started that way. So after you're like, this maybe isn't for me. What was that first method where you're like, okay, I'm going to start doing this online, buying products? What does that sourcing process look like for you?
Honestly, when I discovered Keepa and SellerAmp, that's what really made it very intuitive for me. It's just like stock. So once I had access to those and I saw, your guys' videos using them, that's when it just kind of clicked for me. And I just, went online and practiced every day. And eventually I just understood it.
Awesome. Yeah. You're doing mostly reverse sourcing then?
Oh yeah, definitely. Reverse sourcing is my favorite. And then when you find a good lead, you source from that site. There's like always so many from the same site.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you're saying, like it took a lot of, time, took a lot of, effort at learning the actual business. So how much time are you spending on the business right now to have grown so fast?
Right now, I just had a baby 2 weeks ago. So I literally only have 2 hours, 3 hours a day. So I'm literally just hyper focused on sourcing and I'm trying to get set up with the prep centers. But literally I started this journey when I was 6 months pregnant. So like I worked maybe 2 hours during the day and then my husband would come home at 5 and then I'd stay up to like 2 or 4 every single night for weeks, like just figuring it out, hustling, learning from my mistakes and figuring out the softwares really.
Okay, first of all, you can't just glaze over that, right? Like you had a baby and you're growing some of the fastest I've ever seen people grow on Amazon. So you gotta celebrate that a little bit. That's awesome you're able to do that. But yeah, like you're saying, it definitely takes that, that commitment, that time. Has it been, as you're putting the hours in, is it faster for you to find products now?
Oh, definitely. It clicked about in the second month is when, like, I honestly feel like I spend more time in the checkout cart than I do searching for the actual products just because it can be, order cancels and stuff. It can like put down your motive and stuff. But I mean, once you get through that, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. You'll be needing help just spending your money here before too long, it sounds like. Has there been any, particular categories you've been sticking to? Any products? Do you think other beginners watching the video should kind of look in the same places?
I sell anywhere. My only advice would be, don't worry about the ungating. I always get the products and then worry about ungating later. So, I'm not restricted to certain categories and it just gives me more potential for growth in my opinion.
Yeah, that's awesome. We started kind of ignoring gating as well. Like a lot of beginners, though, they're on month 3 and they're like, oh, I can't do Amazon because I can't get ungated. Meanwhile, you've done 75K. So if you guys are worried about ungating, got plenty of videos on that on the channel. Really just submitting that invoice. Like you're saying, like just buy the products from Walgreens, submit the invoice. We do that all the time. You can get approved to sell those brands. So, obviously you've been super busy, having a newborn baby, like 2 kids to take care of, you're saying as well. How are you finding the time for that? Is there any kind of routine you've built for yourself? I know you talked a little about the time blocking, but has there been anything that's really helped you set aside time and take it seriously?
I mean, it's really just been my support of my husband watching the 2 kids when he comes home, like, because I have an 18-month-old, so, I mean, they keep me very busy during the day, but it's just really, like I said, hyper focusing on the computer when I'm on is literally I just have to do it what I need to do and then get off, and then, maybe when I have time during the day, check my phone, do the other stuff that's not as important, like the cases and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think especially for beginners, like if you can just set aside 1 hour, 30 minutes a day consistently, you're going to be sourcing, like the reps really add up. I think you would agree with that one there. So, obviously a lot of people, they go in, they test the concept and, 2 or 3 months from now, like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously. So clearly there was, a light bulb moment for you. I was like, oh, wow, this is significant. Do you remember what that was? Where it's like, okay, this can be a serious income for me.
It was during the 2nd month, when I realized I was gonna hit over 10K because, I didn't have inflated expectations. I thought, "Okay, I'll just try to make 1,000 a month, some side cash," and then when I saw that goal was way too low, and then to hit 50 the next month is just, like, insane growth in my opinion. I didn't expect it, so it's just super fun. Like, I love sourcing. I think it's great. I just think it's so much fun, so
It's awesome. Is there anything maybe like about your personality or anything? Like you said you've done maybe stocks in the past. Like what is it that makes it so fun for you?
I love learning new things. I know it sounds bad, but I did a lot of different type of jobs in the past. I do our own investments, so I just love learning something new. And with sourcing is if you get bored of a category, like if you're bored of shoes and clothes, just do something else that day, or just go to the store and do something else. So it's constantly changing, and you constantly learn new stuff every day.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to, even as entrepreneurs, that kind of thing. I've been full time for forever. You kind of get stuck in. It's like, all right, it's another day, like doing the same thing. But like, you gotta enjoy that a little bit. Like we can create variety in the job. Like I don't want to look here today. I'm going to try to learn some new skill. Learn how to source groceries today. That's something I love about just being an entrepreneur in general. So it's cool to see you kind of unlock that so quickly there. So is there any kind of misconceptions that you might have had? You think a lot of beginners might have before you first started selling that you would think differently about now?
I think I started backwards than most people. Like I started learning the softwares and like I'm just getting on social media and like there's a lot of misinformation on social media that I've seen in just a day. I would say that it's definitely not passive. Like people say, "Oh, you ship it in and that's passive." Like no, you need to learn your repricer, you need to learn, how to handle all the account work. It's a lot of work up front, but I think it's very doable once you get past that growth phase. Once you get past that, then you can definitely scale and it's not nearly as much time, but it's a lot of work still.
For sure, yeah. Everyone's talking about sourcing products, right? Is there any one of those little, smaller things that you're mentioning there that you think is really important for a beginner? Learning repricing, learning, ins and outs of Seller Central. Was there something you wish you had learned a little sooner?
I mean, just the Keepa and SellerAmp. Like when I went to Walmart clearance shelf, I didn't have any of those tools. Like it
Right.
literally was just like out of nowhere. And then my first couple of things online were just out of nowhere. It's like you really need software. You need to predict the market. Like you need that. I mean, that's the only way to be successful, in my opinion.
Yeah, awesome. It's just going and getting the reps and something that you probably find value in this as well. But for those of you guys who are buying, your first rounds of products and it doesn't go super well, something I love doing is going back onto the Keepa, like pretending you're back in time where it was, and you can try to figure out those patterns. Like, oh, there was an increasing number of sellers. I shouldn't have bought it. The price went down. Like, there's gonna be a lot of lessons like that I'm sure you've already kind of picked up on. And another philosophy that new beginners tend to go by is buying wide, not deep. So you're buying a few units of a bunch of different things. Have you just kind of skipped that phase, or are you just buying a ton of different great items?
Yeah, I've kind of skipped the test buy. I mean, some things like if I am, like I just was like gated in Crayola, so I did like a test buy of 36 of it. Like that's much higher than I would have done, 2 months ago. But like typically I don't test buy anymore. I just learn from the mistakes and hope, well, not hope, but learn from the mistakes I've had and, basically hope everything works out well for everything I've bought.
Awesome. Is there any like specific, one or two data points that you're really looking at every time to figure out how fast skipping that test buy is super important?
Keep it offers tab. I think
Cool.
that's great, especially with no buy box in the listing. You can really find golden gems there.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big nugget for you guys watching the offers tab. I love the offers tab. Clearly, it's done great things for you as well. So going from, like you're saying, you're doing retail arbitrage and now you've been able to scale doing online arbitrage. Is there anything, even just within that small period, anything you've had to stop doing, anything you've cut back so that you can find more time to source and do online arbitrage?
Yeah, my first month, like I said, I tried to master Walmart, Amazon, eBay all at once. It was just like way too much. So like I just kind of filter out the stuff that doesn't do well on Amazon or returns through Walmart and eBay. That way, kind of buffer your margins a little bit.
That's awesome. Are you planning to add back into especially Walmart? There's a lot of opportunity there. Were you planning to plug back into that at some point?
Yeah, but I really like OA right now
Mhm.
with Amazon. I really like keeping SellerAmp. I don't know, I just love it right now. So I'd love to scale, up to 100K a month, like consistently. And then once I hit that, add it on. But I'm solo right now, so and I don't have a lot of time. So it's just a lot of time to try to do both.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good plan of action for you. Are you doing any kind of merchant fulfillment as well? Shipping straight to the customers, or are you doing all FBA?
Oh yeah, today I just had my first 80 FBM. It was my biggest day
Awesome.
ever, like back to school. So I just do like the fast flips there, like things from
Mhm.
Walmart with no sales tax. You can flip them the same day. Like you can make bank real fast and just roll it back into the business.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's something I've seen pretty much every beginner that grew super fast is all doing merchant fulfillment just because you can test it so much faster. In case you're not super familiar with that is we're buying products and then shipping it straight to customers, buying shipping through Amazon. And like you're saying, you can buy an item and sell it the same day. Like, if you're going in, picking up items in store, like I've even done it where I find something good online, walk into the store, list it, and it's sold before I even check it out. Like it's just sitting in the cart. So you can make your money move so much faster as a beginner. It's awesome. So you taking advantage of that. And kind of, looking into the future, you're talking about being, a little bit time limited. What are your aspirations for, building a team? Do you want to bring some people on? What's kind of your vision there?
I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. I'm still getting set up with the prep center just because there's so much stuff in my house right now. It's
Yeah.
insane. I can't run a warehouse forever. So the FBM's fine, but all the FBA stuff just builds up without a prep center at this kind of volume. I honestly don't really know what's best for me next, if I need to get a VA or account health, or what would be the next step. I need to research that.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a prep center, especially, like that's definitely got to be the next step for you. And what you can talk about the other thing as well, but the prep center is going to be awesome for you because you're saying you're in the Midwest, you're paying sales tax. So if you immediately go get that prep center in Delaware and New Hampshire, you're going to probably save time and money. Sure, you've heard this before, but some of you guys watching, you can ship it to 0% sales tax. Instead of paying $2 in sales tax, you can pay $1 for them to prep your item for you, and you don't touch it, and they save you money, right? So I would definitely be kind of on the prowl for one of those. I got a recommendation for you after we get off here as well, so I can hook you up
Okay,
with it.
cool.
But yeah, definitely take advantage of that. And then as far as team building goes, you probably don't need to jump the gun too early. You're just kind of getting the ball rolling, clearly doing really well sourcing. So something you might think about is bringing on that admin help, like you're saying, even part time,
Mhm.
especially if the husband or a family friend wants to buy the products for you. Like that'll be an awesome way as well. I'm sure you can figure something out there. Like, hey, here's my list of stuff I want to buy. Here's the coupons. Go, let them loose on that. I've had some friends help me purchase products before and it saves you some time. So yeah, those would be the two I would kind of think that would be your next big time savers, especially with, newborn. Now you got to look out
Yeah.
for it. You got to, you got to find some time savers for sure. Yeah. So on the flip side of, I was kind of asking earlier, what did you stop doing? What did you add into the business for you to be able to grow quicker, even from the start? Maybe it was merchant fulfillment. Maybe we've already talked about it. Was there any kind of, special, anything special you've been adding on to grow even faster?
Oh, hands down. Yeah. I joined the Discord for you guys. I did the FBA roadmap. I did that in my first month. Like I've only watched like 2 or 3 videos of your guys's, and then I bought the program, and that really scaled me because I had no idea what Amazon was, right? Switching your mentality from being the consumer to the sellers. Way
Mhm.
crazy. Like I didn't know what cash back was. Like I'm talking like the roadmap literally just took me to a different level. It just cut out probably months of learning that I would have had to do on my own.
Awesome. Yeah, I, I appreciate the vouch there. And I think you've been taking advantage of this as well, and hopefully we'll find you some connections here as well. But is there any benefit you've seen through getting plugged into communities? Talking with other Amazon sellers. Is that something you're trying to do more of?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I would love to
Mhm.
network. The Discord has been very helpful, especially with newer questions that I had. And just it saved me so much time. Like just someone answering one account health question can save you hours of talking to Amazon on the phone and case after case. So it's just been very helpful.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you're a fan of the channel, I'm a broken record at this point. Something I'm always talking about is it's so much harder to be a lone wolf in Amazon. You got to Google everything, figure out everything on your own. Your only coworker, so to speak, is ChatGPT, right? So super important to get into the Discord groups and start making connections as well. So if you guys are also growing pretty quickly right now, you're around Sam's level. I'm sure she would love to network with you, and you guys need to make networking connections as well. Where can they find you, Sam?
Oh yeah, I just created an Instagram and a Twitter, just Sam and then underscore FBA. Very simple. I love to make some friends and grow together. Like I said, I'd like to hit 100K by November a month consistently. So it would just be so much easier if we work together.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. So if you're looking for a buddy to scale on Amazon with, you guys definitely make some money together there. So what do you think is holding you back right now, Sam? Now that you've grown quickly, is it, what's the main limiting factor?
Time and then obviously money. I just got my Amex Plum, so I'm so excited for this next week coming up. I'm just gonna go wild probably.
Awesome. Yeah. And especially since you're merchant fulfilling, you got that longer payback period, you'll get your money back in time. But for those of you guys watching, be extra careful with those credit card methods, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you really know what you're doing. I don't want to see those zero sales beginners out there leveraging debt. Like it's not the way to go until you've kind of
Mhm.
understood what you're looking at. So, looking into the future, what are your long-term goals for the business? Are you already full-time at home with the kids, or is this kind of a on top of the job as well?
No, yeah, I quit my job when my first son was born. Like, I went back for like 6 months or something, and then I stayed home and did other side hustles. And then this one's just like exploding with the potential. So I definitely hope to do this, part time with the kids at home. And we have a bunch of dogs. So get to be home with my babies and my dogs and make
Awesome.
money online. It's just insane and not have to deal with the boss. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Even in a few months, life looks a lot drastically different, I'm sure. So excited to see the growth continue there. And then just to wrap us up here, what advice would you have? You're talking to yourself 3 months ago. There's that guy or girl who's trying to make their first sales. What should they go do to start taking action on their business today?
Honestly, I would say just be careful who you take information from, vet your sources. Honestly, I just joined the roadmap right away. I mean, it's not solicited. Like, literally, I have never met Warner in person or anything. So, like, literally, if you're just trying to really scale on Amazon, I would join a program like that that's legitimate. And then I would just go all in, expect to spend 40, 60-hour weeks, for a couple weeks. And then after that, you can start buying back your time. But you got to put the time in up front.
Yeah, appreciate the vouch again, but for sure, like harping on that, this is not passive. It's not easy either. But financial freedom is not supposed to be easy, right? You can go to the 9 to 5 for your life and retire, or you can grind at this and then try to make it on your own, right? So looking forward to seeing those of you guys take action. If you do want to go ahead and reach out to Sam, I'm sure she would love to answer questions, network with you guys. We'll have those social links drop down below for you. So I really hope you guys got a ton of value out of today's video. If you did, please try to hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know if you have any questions. Drop those down below. Always happy to answer those for you guys. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.